Hi everyone, and welcome to Warren's Team Talk. And yeah, I'm really sorry about my lateness. It's not acceptable, really. But yeah, I've had some issues with StreamYard, and I've had some issues with the slides. But I'm here now, so let's hope there's no more disasters for the rest of the afternoon. But there you go. Anyway, I hope that you're all well, and thank you so much for coming and joining me today. And we've got a Premier League feast lined up for you today. There's games between Bournemouth and Spurs, Crystal Palace and Southampton, Brighton and Chelsea, Brentford and Wolves, and Newcastle and Aston Villa on the agenda, plus anything else that crops up across the league. So it should be quite an interesting one, I think. So let's quickly get to the people in the chat. Hi, and Taib says, hi, Ron. Hi, Taib. I hope you're well, mate. Thanks very much for popping in and saying hello. It's great to see you, and I hope you enjoy the show. Then Del Boy Gunner, take your time, Ron. He says, yeah, well, I had to, man, because I don't want it to be shabby, that's for sure. And Del Boy says, hi, Taib. And Taib returns the compliments. And Zach Football TV says, hi, Warren. Hi, Zach. How you doing, buddy? I hope you're good. And hi, Taib, says Zach Football TV. Please, guys, make sure you go and subscribe to Zach's channel and also to Del Boy's channel as well. Zach's a really young fellow, Del Boy's son, and he uploads some videos from time to time about football. And the other day he filmed him and his dad blocking a drain in the road near to where they live. It's very public spirited young Zach, so fair play to him. Joanne Smith says, hello all. Hi, Joanne. I hope you're good. Hope you're looking forward to Monday. And I've got a bit of an announcement to make in a minute about that. So yeah, I hope you're looking forward to Monday. Del Boy Gunner says, hi, Joe. Jez Collins is in the chat as well. Afternoon, everyone. Hi, Jez. I hope you're good, mate. And thanks for coming in. Taib says, hi, Zach. And that's me. And hi, Jesus, says Taib, mate. You're an absolute legend. You're so funny. And he says, hi, Joanne. And Jez says, Taib Hussein, hi, mate. And Del Boy Gunner says, hi, Jez. And it's good to see you lot chatting together. That's really cool. Man City gone top. Arsenal will defo lose tomorrow. Mate, don't. Listen, I want to ask you a question, right? The other day I got really upset about this YouTube lark and whatnot. And because I was getting into loads of arguments and stuff with people. And I want to know from you lot whether you want me to do Arsenal-related content. Because at the end of the day, I'm doing this for me, right, to keep my mind active, and also because I want to entertain you lot. So do you want me to do Arsenal-related content and stuff? The only problem is if I do Arsenal-related content, I'm liable to lose my shit if things are going badly. All right? So tell me what you think. All right? Have a think about it during the course of the afternoon and let me know. And if you lot want me to do it, then I will do it. And Type says, Mag. Yeah, I know what you meant, mate. Fair play. And Joanne Smith says, hello, Del Boy. And Diesel, hi, Del Boy Gunner TV. Hi, mate. And I'm loving the fact that you lot are all chatting together. It's brilliant. Lateness is greatness, Lee says. Yeah, I know he says that. I feel a bit uncomfortable about it, to be honest. Grant McRoberts, good afternoon, Warren. Oh, hello, mate. How are you? I haven't seen you for a few weeks, buddy. I wonder why that is. I'm only joking, mate. You know that I love winding you up, buddy. But it's nice to see you. And yeah, let's hope. The sad thing about it is, though, it's I just think it's really sad that neither of us have been able to make an impact in the Champions League. And I think I think the SFA need to have a serious look at the state of the game in Scotland. They really do, because it's shocking. And you know, years ago we used to have a strike force of Kenny Dalglish and Joe Jordan, and yet we can't even get anywhere close approaching that level of standard of striker anymore. I just find it, I think I know what the answer is, but and I've been arguing with them about this for donkey's years, probably since about last time we qualified for the World Cup in '98, but they just don't want to listen. So can you do? If they don't want to fucking listen, I just don't know. It really annoys me, to be quite frank. It's just been a continual downward slide like this, and I can't see it getting any better until they do something to address the poor level of coaching that there is in the country. It's simple as that. It's got nothing to do with financial investment, although that would help. But no, man. Joanne says that she's been to the animal charity today. Animal charity stall today, bought some things. Good, excellent. I'm glad to hear it. I hope you got some nice stuff. Grant says another week of watching boring Giovanni bomb scare this afternoon. Mate, how much longer do you think he's got? Seriously, how much longer? But I feel sorry for him, because I don't think it's necessarily down to women. You know, you cannot make a silk purse out of a sow's ear. You can't. And I subbed to Zach last week, says Jez. Thank you, Jez. That's you, top man. Absolutely superb stuff. He's a lovely, lovely young fella. Tyve says, Warren, Eddie was part of the Invincible squad depth back in the day. How as a technical director, he's left our bench light on numbers when he should clearly know about this stuff? Well, maybe he does know about it, but he chooses not to do anything, and he's been instructed not to do anything about it, because I don't know who's got the final say about this stuff. I really don't. Because I'm just confused. I'm absolutely confused about it. I don't know if it's him, whether it's Arteta, whether it's the owner, whether it's Vinay. I want to bloody know. I want to see the job descriptions. That's what I want to see. And Joanne Smith, I sent you boys a video on Instagram. Well, okay, thanks, Joanne. I'll have a look at that later. And we got the man himself, the Aussie Gooner, in the chat. Thanks for coming, Aussie Gooner. Lovely to see you. Big up, Warren, he says. And everyone, go and make sure you subscribe to this fella. All right? It's real passionate fan from Sydney in Australia. An absolutely top bloke, a great mate, and I love his content. Jez says, yes, Warren, sod the haters. Thank you, Jez. Well, if you're telling me to do it, then, buddy, I'm going to do it. And the Aussie Gooner says, Warren, you do what's natural. Thank you, buddy. That's a big help. And yeah, thank you very much. And I just want to do what I feel like I want to do. I don't want to be upsetting people, but at the end of the day, you can't please all the people all the time. And if they're going to get upset about my opinion, then that's, I don't know. I just don't know. Gracie-Mae says, big up. Thank you, Gracie. And please go and subscribe to Gracie's channel as well. Absolutely lovely young lady. And she's an absolute legend. And what's the word I'm looking for? Gracie, for me, she's the future of this football club. And that's why I hold her in such high esteem, because I value her opinions. The Aussie Gooner, like it up, people. Thank you, Aussie. Yeah, Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I think most of you here already have. And please don't forget to put a like on the video as well. Thanks very much. And Grant says he's not got long. It's like watching Arteta. He went on from being a super fit team leader under Gerrard with an identity to an unfit side with no identity. That's shocking. That really is shocking. Bournemouth 2, Tottenham 0. Yeah, here we go. Go on the Cherries. And Joanne says, hello, Gracie-Mae. And Taib says, Spurs laugh out loud. There's another one walking a tightrope, isn't it? We're on end of the day. Just be real, mate. Too many fakes out there on YouTube, mate. Yeah, you're 100% right. I've lost sight of that a bit, I think. And I'm just going to do what I feel, and that's it. If people like it, fine. If they don't, no, well. And Grace says, hello, Joanne. And Brentford 0, Wolves 0. Thank you, Joanne, keeping me updated. I'll get to the scores and whatnot in a minute. Taib, hi, Gracie. And Gracie-Mae says, thanks, Warren. It's true. That's what I think. And Warren, wherever we do, we always get hate. Just bored little keyboard warriors. Ignore them and they go away. And yeah, well, I hope so, buddy. It's not. Yeah, that is annoying, but I just don't want to be getting involved in scraps because I've got really, really low tolerance of bullshit, and that's the problem. I can't bear it, and I get really angry when I see it, and it's just the way I've been brought up. And there you go. Brighton 2, Chelsea 2. Are these predictions or are they the scores? That's what's going on in the game? Oh, it can't be because the games ain't kicked off. You confusing me, Joanne. And the Aussie Gooner, Joanne Smith, love your work, laugh out loud. She is an absolute legend, mate. Check her out on Instagram. The stuff she does is superb. I keep telling her she needs to set up her own business making this stuff for people. She'd make an absolute bomb because it's top drawer stuff. Gracie said, I'm off to the gym, but have a good show. I'm sure I'll catch you later. Yeah, no problem. Have a good time at the gym. Be careful. Don't injure yourself. And, enjoy it. Enjoy it. I know you will. And I look forward to speaking to you later. Take care, Gracie, and have a great afternoon. Crystal Palace 2, Southampton 1. Some interesting scores there, Joanne. Gracie-Mae, get Fabio in there, says the Aussie Gooner. Yes, exactly. Mate, I'm going to pay for him to go to fucking Sydney and get some intensive one-to-one work with yourself, or get Kenny to take him to the gym because he definitely needs some work. Joanne says Newcastle 2, Aston Villa 1. That's interesting. Everyone else, put your scores in. What you think is going to be the scores for today's game. That'll be interesting. I'll be on your side, mate. Get into the scraps. Mate, me and you, back to back, sorting them out. That'd be absolutely wild. Yeah. And yeah, I've heard about your antics. You told me a few stories. Yeah. As they say in rugby union, mate, a few of these fellas need a damn good raking. That's what it is. Joanne Smith, Fulham 2, Everton 1. And then she's going Liverpool 2, Leeds 0. And that's my predictions for today. Fair play, Joanne. And we'll see what happens. Thank you for those. Right. Okay, everyone. Let's get into the show. And right, everyone. This week, last week, you know that my YouTube channel of the week was Del Boy Gunner TV. Oh, that's not gone very well, has it? That Invicta Concordia Cressy is supposed to be in that speech bubble, but still, never mind. So my YouTube channel of the week for this week is Jezzy's Arsenal, the History and More. Please make sure you go and subscribe to Jezzy's channel. He does absolutely fantastic content. And I love the history videos he does, in particular about the history of Arsenal Football Club. And I do not understand why Arsenal don't get on board with this, because lots of other clubs are happy to talk about their history. I know for a fact that Liverpool Football Club, they've got a big section of their website which is dedicated to the history of the club. And it's fascinating. Even as a non-Liverpool fan, I absolutely love it. And then there's also other clubs that do it as well. I think I'm right in saying that Celtic have got a section on their website about their history, because that's really interesting. They've got really interesting history. So yeah, but why and Arsenal's is just unreal. The history of that football club and everything is unreal. It's got everything. It's got everything. It makes Dallas look like, you remember Dallas, the TV show back in the 80s and 90s? Yeah, well, it makes that look like a bloody children's kid TV program. Honestly, it is unreal. I absolutely love it. And that's one of the things I like about the club is the history of it. And all the great players and personalities and whatnot. And years ago, I used to work with a guy who was a reserve at Arsenal. And he never actually made the grade at the club as a first-team player. But he said to me, when he left Arsenal and went to other clubs, he said it was just never the same. It wasn't. He said it wasn't. He never really felt the same about any of the clubs that he ever played for. Yeah, he enjoyed his time at other clubs, but it wasn't the same. He said the place, Highbury, he said, is magical. There's something magical about it. So there you go. So make sure, and Jez will tell you all about all of this stuff in his channel. So please make sure you go and subscribe to him and check out his channel. Now, at the top of the chat, you're going to see I put in a chat which has the link to his, I think I put the link in there. Yeah, I put the link in for his channel. So please make sure you go and check that out. There's also a link and also for his YouTube channel and also for his Instagram page. So make sure you go and check that out as well. He's an absolutely lovely fella. And you can see by some of the chats that he's put in the attitude that he has. And I absolutely love the fella. I really do. In a platonical way, I might add as well. All right. So yeah, he's super. Yeah, I want to talk about that. Unai Emery, right? Unai Emery. I really hope he smashes Aston Villa. I have to say I'm a bit worried about it. But Unai, for me, he's a top draw coach, and I think he's got some good players there, and I think if he gets the right backing from the board in January and whatnot, I think he'll do a good job. I do, and I think he'll get them out of trouble. But let's see. I don't think it's going to be easy for him, but I think he's a top draw coach, and he's proven it. He's proven it. He proved it at us, and he proved it at Villarreal. All right. And I still firmly believe that if he'd been given the backing that Arteta had been given, he would have got us into the Champions League, and we would have won a major honour. I'm sure he would have won the league here, and he would have gone close to, if not winning the Champions League. There you go. Joanne says, I got a jigsaw puzzle, 2 packets of cheese straws. The cats enjoyed some. Laugh at that. Bought a homemade apple and plum crumble and keyring at the charity stall. Well, fair play to you. Excellent. That's lovely. I'm glad to hear that you enjoyed it and that you liked the stuff you bought. So let's have a look. So this is the Premier League table. Arsenal was we were at top until City won this morning. Arsenal are now second, a point behind. But this was as of yesterday. As you can see, Tottenham are in third. They're 5 points behind Arsenal, and Newcastle are currently in fourth. Chelsea in fifth. United are in sixth, and Fulham are up to seventh, and Liverpool eighth. That's a bit of a shock. And the bottom three comprises of Leeds, Wolves, and Nottingham Forest, who we play tomorrow, by the way. And we need to fix up because our poor performances in the last 3 or 4 games have just not been acceptable. So the 3 o'clock kickoffs that we're covering today are Bournemouth against Tottenham, Brentford against Wolves, Brighton against Chelsea, Palace against Southampton, and Newcastle against Aston Villa. And the lunchtime kickoff today saw Leicester lose at home by 1-0 to Manchester City. Apparently, it was an absolute belter of a goal from Kevin De Bruyne just after half-time. Absolutely fantastic goal. So there you go. Let me just do something with this so it makes it stand out a bit better. Hold on a sec. Let me just get rid of this a sec. Turn that off a minute. So the match stats for the game: Leicester had 35%, City had 65%. Leicester had 10 shots, Man City had 15 shots. Leicester had 5, Man City had 5. Leicester had 3 corners, City had 10. Their foul count was 5-10 in to Man City. So there you go. That was that. So moving on. So let's have a look at the lineups and formations for today. So the first one we're going to look at is Bournemouth against Tottenham. Bournemouth, there in their starting 11, they've got Travers, Cook, Mepham, Lerma, Solanke, Smith, who's captain, Tavernier, Moore, Sensini, Billing, and Zamora. And Tottenham, they've gone with Lloris, who's captain, Royale, Sanchez, Leglet, Davis, Sessignon, Højbjerg, Bissouma, Skip, Son, and Kane. And the current form for Bournemouth, they've drawn 2, 1-1, and lost 2 of their last 5 games. And Tottenham have lost 3 and won 2. Most recently, they lost. So, I don't know. I think this one might end up being a draw, to be honest, but you never know. These are the formations that they've gone for. Bournemouth are going with a 4-2-3-1, and Tottenham are going with a 3-5-2. And Brentford, their lineup for today is Raya, Aya, Me, Pinnock, Henry, Janelt, Jensen, De Silva, Embuemo, Wissa, and Tony, who's captain. And then Wolves, their starting 11 is Sarr, Semedo, Collins, Kilman, Bueno, Nunes, Neves is their captain for today, Traore, and another Traore, that one's a Traore, Costa and Podence. And their formations are Brentford are going with a 4-3-3, and Wolves are going with a 4-2-3-1. Brighton against Chelsea. Now, Brighton, they in their last 5 games, they've drawn 2 and lost 3. So they've been looking to get back to winning ways, I guess. In the most recent outing, they drew. And Chelsea have won 3 and drawn 2 of the last 5. They'll be looking to continue their unbeaten run and hopefully pick up another win. I won't be surprised if this one don't end up in a draw. The formations are going to be 3-4-2-1 for Brighton, and Chelsea I'm going with a 3-4-2-1 for them. Well, I'm not going for it. Then Brighton, the Chelsea manager is. So there you go, Mr. Potter. And Crystal Palace against Southampton. Palace in their last 5 games, they've lost 2, won 2, and drawn 1. And Southampton have lost 2, drawn 2, and won 1. And Palace, their starting 11 is Guaita, Ward, Guaya, Anderson, Mitchell, Schlupp, Mihailovic, Eze, Olise, Edouard, and Sahar. And then Southampton have gone with Bazunu, Lanko, Kaleta Carr, Saliso, Perud, Diallo, Ward-Prowse is their captain, El Yunusi, S. Armstrong, Aribo, and Adams. And then the starting formations for Palace and Southampton. Palace are going with a 4-1-4-1. Aussie Gooner's favourite formation. And then Southampton are going with a 4-4-2. And then Newcastle against Aston Villa. Newcastle in their last 5 games of 1-1, drawn 2, and lost 2. And Villa have drawn 2, lost 2, and won 1. And their last two run-outs, Villa have drawn them both. I won't be surprised today to see Villa either get a draw or get a win with the new manager bounce. So don't be surprised if that happens. So Newcastle, in their starting 11, they've gone with Nick Pope, Kieran Trippier, Fabian Schär, Sven Botman, Dan Burn, Bruno Gramage, Sean Longstaff, Joe Willock, Miguel Almiron, Joe Linton, and Callum Wilson. And Aston Villa, Unai Emery's first game in charge, he's gone with Martinez in goal and he's made him captain. Cash, Konsa, Mings, Young, Dendonka, Douglas Luiz, Watkins, Buendia, Bailey, and Ings. He's gone with Martinez as captain. Fair play to him. And Newcastle against Aston Villa. The starting formations are 4-3-3 and Aston Villa's is a 4-2-3-1. So there you go. That's the starting formation. So let's get this back on the matches and then we'll get into the show proper. What am I doing? What am I doing? All right, here we go. That's what I was looking for. Right. Okay. So let's get into this show proper and see what the hell's going on. There's 15 minutes gone in the game already. Gee whiz. Right. Okie doke. Where are we? And Joanne's going 0-3 tomorrow. What game is that, Joanne? You're talking about the Arsenal match. I hope it is 3-0. Very good, Joe, says Del Boy. Carne AFC 84. I've got one more thing to say about Aston Villa, right? And it's particularly because I think Carne's here. Unai Emery! Anyone who doesn't know what I'm going on about, go and check out his Instagram page and look at some of the videos he posted. It's absolutely his videos he posts on there are hilarious. Carney, how you been keeping, pal? And lovely to see you, Carney. I hope good, mate. And Delboy Gunner TV says, how you keeping, pal? Ty says, Warren, I'm old and manky. I'll never use a hanky. I'll wear on the plants and saw my pants and sometimes get quite cranky. Well, it sounds like a good description of me, mate. So we're a good partnership. Not too bad. Del Boy says, Carney AFC 84. I really need to get back on it, YouTube-wise. Yeah, mate, if you want me to shout out your channel, make sure you go and subscribe to this guy's channel, right? He's absolutely top guy, and his videos on Instagram are hilarious. Go and check him out and go and support his channel because it's superb. And Taib says, hi, Carne. Right, come on, let's get into what's going on with football. And I'm gonna right, so okay, so there we go. And there's been goals already. And it's Brighton 2, Chelsea 0 already. Wow. Oh, my God. Look at that. Brighton 2, Chelsea 0. Let's go and find out what's been happening there. Okay, so Brighton took the lead in the 5th minute thanks to a goal from Trossard. And then Loftus-Cheek scored an own goal in the 14th minute. And Maloma assisted with 1 goal after 5 minutes. So let's see if we can find out how those goals went in. So let's go and check that out. And so, okay, the first goal in the 5th minute from Leonardo Trossard, Brighton and Hove Albion. He took the left-footed shot from the left side of the 6-yard box to the bottom right corner, and that was assisted by Kairo Mitoma. So fair play to him. Trossard got the first goal in the game, and then after that, Mateo Kovacic got booked for Chelsea, so he needs to see this. Your book, son. And then following on from that, there was a second goal for Brighton in the 14th minute, and that was scored by Ruben Loftus-Cheek. It was an own goal, and so that put Brighton 2-0 up in that game at the beginning of the match. So fair play to them. So all the rest of the scores in the Premier League so far goalless. So it's Brighton 2, Chelsea 0. And yeah, what a fantastic start for Brighton. So let's get back into some comments. Carney says, Taib, how are you, mate? Carney says, cheers, Warren. Absolutely pleasure, mate. And it's all true. Yeah, Carney, you have to get back on it. 100%, mate. Because I'm sure that your videos are going to be absolutely superb. Because that stuff you put on Insta, mate, it's fantastic. And Joanne says, yes, Arsenal 0. Oh, Arsenal 0, Forest 3. Jeez, Joanne, I can't see that happening. The worst case scenario for me will be a 0-0 draw, but I can't see us losing 3-0. Jesus, that would be an absolute disaster. Oh, yeah, good evening is in the Prem, laugh out loud. Mate, I'm convinced that he's going to do a good job. I really do. And I don't think he would have gone there unless he thought he couldn't do it. So fair play to the fella. So let's see what's going on. So look, it looks like there's nearly another. Raheem Sterling slides it through to Conor Gallagher, and he's denied by Robert Sanchez, and Christian Pulisic then slides a rebound wide. So there was nearly another goal there, and looks like it's all action at the Amex Arena. Alexis McAllister lays it off to Leandro Trossard on the right as Brighton break with pace, and he smashes it towards goal, but it's straight at Kepa. So Newcastle 0, Aston Villa 0. A lovely crossfield pass by Fabian Schär finds Joel Linton lurking just outside the box, and the Brazilian forces Emilio Martinez into a save. The ball threatens to bobble from Martinez's grasp, and he collides with teammate Tyrone Mings. Martinez is hurt and receiving treatment on the pitch. So what's Pat Nevin saying? Pat Nevin is on 5 Live today. Wildly open game, this one. He's talking about the Brighton-Chelsea game. Wildly open game, this one. Both Chelsea players should have scored. Their Gallagher's shot is saved by Sanchez and then Pulisic. Even though it comes bouncing back to him on the volley, you've got to score from 6 yards. 2 brilliant chances from Chelsea missed. There you go. It looks like they're creating chances, but it's just not going their way. Crystal Palace against Southampton at Selhurst Park. Still waiting for this game to have lift-off. Palace are on top. Southampton haven't done much since the early corner, which was fumbled clear. So there we have it. Make of that what you will. Newcastle 0, Aston Villa 0. Worrying scenes for Aston Villa. Emi Martinez is still on the ground receiving treatment. Will the captain be able to continue? Well, that doesn't sound good, does it? Joan says, "Oh my God, Potter is getting potted." Laugh out loud. He's gone back to his old club. I'm surely really motivated to put one over him. My partner says 3-1 Arsenal. She's got all scores right so far. Well, there you go. Hopefully it will be. Well, I'm assuming that she means that Arsenal are going to win 3-1. So if that's the case, yeah, I hope she does. And Deserba needs a win, says Ty. Yeah, I think you're right, buddy. So Brentford 0, Wolves 0. So nearly brilliant. Josh Da Silva picks the ball up in the pocket on the edge of the area. Rolls away from a defender and curls towards the top corner. It's a yard wide, no more, no less. So still Brentford 0, Wolves 0. And there's been a goal. And it's Bournemouth 1, Tottenham 0. Yes, come on, you cherries. And Kiefer Moore scores for Bournemouth. Let's go and find out about that one. And so he scored in the 22nd minute, and that goal was assisted by Tavernier. So let's go and check it out. Kiefer Moore, Bournemouth, takes a right-footed shot from the centre of the box to the bottom right corner, and that was assisted by Marcus Tavernier. There you go. So Tottenham 1-0 down already away at Bournemouth. So the match stats in this one, Bournemouth have had 37% possession. They had 4 shots against Tottenham's 2. Bournemouth have had 2 shots on target. Tottenham had none. The corner count is 4-1 in Tottenham's favour. And the foul count is 2-1 Bournemouth. So there you go. Let's get back into the commentary. So what's going on? And I think that's what we've just seen. So yeah, it is. Newcastle 0, Aston Villa 0. Good news for Villa. Emi Martinez is fine to carry on, and after a chat with referee Paul Tierney about concerns over concussion, play carries on after a delay of about 5 minutes. Well, that's good news. That's nice to hear. That Emi Martinez is okay. Palace 0, Southampton 0. Michael Olise gets the ball on the edge of the box and he shifts it on to the right, but he's blocked off by Mohamed Salisu. Olise wants a penalty, but the appeals are tame and the referee quickly waves play on. Salisu stuck out a leg, but quickly brought it back in good time, I guess that they're trying to say. Brought it back in, a good decision. So Chelsea out of pace. Martin Keown says, "Good guy, bad guy. You can come back to play against your old manager." The stadium atmosphere is against him. You've got to admire what Graham Potter is doing at Chelsea. Chelsea haven't come to terms in this game. It's been a roller coaster and Brighton completely controlling the game. It'd be interesting what Potter does tactically in order to stop Brighton from scoring again. Newcastle 0. Let's go up to St James's Park now. Newcastle 0, Aston Villa 0. Terrific defending by Dan Burn denies Emilio Buendia what looks like a certain goal from close range. The Newcastle defender flings himself into goal-saving challenge, and Buendia is hurt in the process and is receiving treatment. A start game at St James's. Yeah, sounds like it's a bit physical, to be honest. First of all, Emi Martinez gets injured, and now Buendia as well. Poor old Unai must be wondering whether he's going to have a team left at the end of the game. Right, okay. So let's see what's going on. Yeah, that's where we were. And Joanne put some laughing emojis. I said Bournemouth 2, Tottenham 0. Yeah, you did. So let's see if that comes true, Joanne. And let's get back into this. Brentford 0, Wolves 0. Worrying signs for Wolves as captain Ruben Neves needs lengthy treatment after collision in midfield, but it looks like the Portuguese is going to be able to continue for now. Another chance down at the Amex Arena. Looks like Leandro Trossard nearly got another one. He flicks his shot wide from a tight angle. Newcastle 0, Aston Villa 0. The World Cup is just around the corner, and Gareth Southgate is at St James's Park watching from the posh seats. A chance for Nick Pope to impress the England boss. To be fair, the Newcastle keeper has not had a lot to do so far. And that reminds me when it goes, the World Cup is just around the corner. I remember once I was in Petticoat Lane, right, the market, and there was this like cheap jack bloke selling something dodgy, like a Del Boy Trotter type. And he had his suitcase open and there's all this stuff in it, and he was trying to sell this dodgy stuff. And he goes, "Come on, people," he said, "Christmas around the corner, and so are the old Bill. I need to get this stuff shifted." absolutely classic line. And hits the woodwork. Crystal Palace 0, Southampton 0. Che Adams makes a nice run in behind, then cuts inside and curls it superbly off the far post. It's a terrific effort, and it's the closest Southampton have come. By the flag. By the flag is up because he was just offside. A warning sign for Palace. I'm sure he meant to say not by the flag, but the flag is up. I don't know. I don't know about these people. I really don't. So Pat Nevin is obviously enjoying the game at the Amex Arena. He says no, he's not enjoying the game. He says it's an absolutely terrible game. I'm watching Raheem Sterling right now, and I've said that Graham Potter has got the best from every single player who's been there, with one exception, Raheem Sterling. If he keeps playing the way he is right now, he's not even a consideration for the World Cup. He's having a really, really bad time. And today he's having an absolute terrible game. Well, there you go. Dion Dublin, talking about the Bournemouth goals, says that's a really difficult finish for Keith and Moore. I've tried to finish like that myself many times and got it wrong. When you are sprinting at pace, you want the ball to be perfect, and the ball was slightly behind him. He actually slowed his run down and just side-footed it. Newcastle 0, Aston Villa 0. Huge chance for Villa, but Ollie Watkins will not want to see that again as he completely misses the ball while unmarked inside the box. No, that's terrible. That really does. And Niles in the chat, the upper tier, big up Warren, Chelsea getting pumped, laugh out loud. Yeah, I'm sure you're absolutely delighted about that, as I am. And lovely to see you, Niles. Thanks very much for joining us, coming in the chat. I'm really grateful for that. Thank you. And Grant McRoberts says, yes, getting Kolak. Sounds like Rangers have scored. The upper tier podcast says City get the win but look bang average without Haaland. Well, did he not play? Wow. Wonder why that was. Is he injured? Wow, that is interesting. Yeah, let's go and have a look at that, see what's going on. So let's go to here. So it's at Ibrox. It's Rangers 1, Aberdeen 1. Kolak scored in the 27th minute after Barron had given Aberdeen the lead in the 21st minute. Rangers' goal was assisted by Tillman in the 27th minute, and Barron's Lopez had Lopez had assisted Aberdeen's goal. So let's see the match stats for this one. So in this game, Rangers have had 65% possession. They've had 10 shots against Aberdeen's 3. 5 of those shots have been on target, and Aberdeen have had 1 shot on target. The corner count is 4-2 in favour of Aberdeen, and the foul count is 3-2 to Aberdeen. Anyone who doesn't know about the history between Rangers and Aberdeen, that game is always really, really, how would you say? It's really volatile. It really, years and years ago, I think I've said this story before. Me and my mate were on holiday in the Highlands, and we came back and we had a few hours to kill. So we went to Ibrox to see Rangers play Aberdeen. Rangers won the game 2-0, but the atmosphere in that stadium was electric, and it was literally a war. Both sides were kicking lumps out of each other, and honestly, how that it didn't kick off in the stands, I do not know, because the fans were going mental, and yeah, it's just always really, really, really be that game. It really is. So yeah, I'll be interested to see what happens this afternoon, if anyone gets sent off or whatnot, because it's usually a really violent encounter between the two sides. So let's see if I can get there. No. Trying to get it to show me. Oh, here we go. That's what I'm looking for. So the upper tier, City get the win, but it looked bang. Yeah, I read that one. We kept them very quiet last week. Well, yeah, that's true. You did keep them quiet. So yeah, maybe he's just like he's slowing down a bit, and fucking needs to. He needs to slow down because it was getting a bit ridiculous, wasn't it? Wow. And it looks like there's been a VAR check, which reminds me I need to do some more videos for this show. VAR check. The ball is in the back of the net. It's Palace 0, Southampton 0. The ball is in the back of the net from Edouard as he is slipped inside the box and he slots it past the keeper. It's ruled out straight away. And then there's a quick VAR check as the provider Michael Olise is offside in the build-up. So let's see what happens with that. Close. Crystal Palace 0, Southampton 0. This time there is no offside as Michael Olise again slides in Odderson Edouard. He's tricked by Duje Kaleta-Carr, and the Saints defender blocks it well as Edouard tries to squeeze it into the near post from a tight angle. Hits the woodwork. Better from Spurs. Emerson Royale picks out Oliver Skip, who takes a touch inside the area before driving in the shot, which Mark Travers turns away. Spurs then get the ball in. It's flicked towards goal and comes back off the post. Brighton 2, Chelsea 0. It's quieting down a little bit, but there's still chances. Goes, brings down Raheem Sterling in the box, but he gets the ball cleanly to a quick VAR check. All good. Newcastle 0, Aston Villa 0. Emi Martinez looks dejected as he walks off. It's the right decision. He's clearly not recovered from the incident, which saw him receive lengthy treatment earlier. So Robin Olsen is on. It's his first Premier League appearance since he was assaulted during a pitch invasion at Manchester City in May. So good luck to him. I hope he does well. And fair play to him. Brighton 2, Chelsea 0. More Brighton pressure. Thiago Silva puts it behind for a corner. Mark Cucurella has been beaten on the right before. Purvis Estepanan gets away down the left. And there's been a goal! There's been a goal, people. And let's check that. Let's see what happened there. And it's Crystal Palace 1, Southampton 0. And let's find out who scored that. And it's Edouard has scored for Palace. He's given Palace the lead at home to Southampton. And let's see what happened with that goal. Let's see. So, Southampton, Crystal Palace 1, Southampton 0. Edouard Crystal Palace had a right-footed shot from very close range to the centre of the goal, and that was assisted by Tyrick Mitchell. So, there you go. Palace 1, Southampton 0. So, Palace 1-0 up. Let's get into the chat again. And the upper tier says, like fishermen pulling product out of the net all night. Fantastic comment. I love that, Noel. Edouard has found his shooting boots against Ty. Yeah, done well. He's done well. And the upper tier says, Wreck It Ralph in serious trouble. Yeah, it sounds like it, mate. I wouldn't be surprised if he don't get shown the door. I know a lot of their fans were talking about it a few weeks ago. How nice is that Palace jersey? Says the upper tier. It is, isn't it? It's quality. I really like it too, mate. There's quite a few of them that I like, actually. But I'll tell you one I don't like. That's Arsenal's third choice kit, that pink one. Jesus Christ. That is a monstrosity. Ask Delboy what he thinks about the Arsenal third kit. If you want to see him losing his shit, ask him about the Arsenal third kit, because he will go off on one. Maybe that's something the Dazzler can wear on one of your shows one week. That pink Arsenal kit, because it is horrible. Absolutely horrible. So, Newcastle 0, Aston Villa 0. The game needs a goal. Lots of huff and puff from both sides, but little end product. Eddie Howe is on the touchline, urging his players forward. Unai Emery, who does not officially take over until Tuesday, will be impressed with the effort of his Villa players. Is he really? I didn't realise that he wasn't actually in control. I thought he was. Brentford 0, Wolves 0. Joel Moutinho with his first touch hits a lovely volley after being picked out with a deep corner, but it deflects off a defender and flies just wide. Del wears that jersey when it goes out on a Saturday night. Oh dear. Del, are you listening to what he's saying? I wouldn't let him get away with that if I were you, mate. And there's been another goal at the Amex Arena, and it's turning it into an absolutely horrendous afternoon for Chelsea. It's now Brighton 3, Chelsea 0. I repeat, Brighton 3, Chelsea 0. A minute to go before half time, and Chelsea are 3-0 down. They're absolutely having a torrid afternoon of it at the Amex Arena. And the third goal, it's another own goal. Gee whiz. Oh, Potter would be tearing the bloody paintwork off in that dressing room at half time. He will be flying into them. It will be unbelievable. It'll be like a fire-breathing dragon. So there you go. Brighton 3, Chelsea 0. Let's see what happened. Let's see if this says anything about the goal. Own goal by Trevor Chalobah. Chelsea, Brighton and Hove Albion. Brighton 3, Chelsea 0. I don't really say that much, really, except for it was an own goal. But there you go. Chelsea 3-0 down, and it's not even half time. They are getting royally slapped. I can't say I'm disappointed. And Ty says there was an old geezer from Pippin who wanted to go skinny dipping. He gave his wife whiskey. They got bare and frisky. Then into the pond, both went slipping. Have you got a book with these things and you're just like putting them in? They're absolutely hilarious. Hilarious. I absolutely love it, mate. I love it. And Joanne Smith says, expressions isn't saying much. Laugh out loud. I bet he ain't. I bet. Well, you'll see what he's like at the end of the game if Tottenham get beat. I'm sure he'll have plenty to say then. So, yeah, let's have a look at the scores, people. What the scores are. And so here we go. Let's see what the scores are. Right, so just coming up to half time now. It's Bournemouth 1, Tottenham 0, Brentford 0, Wolves 0, Brighton and Hove Albion 3, Chelsea 0, Crystal Palace 1, Southampton 0, Newcastle United 0, Aston Villa 0. And then tonight, 5:30, we got Fulham against Everton, and no, we got your lot are playing Leeds tonight. Liverpool against Leeds at Anfield. What do you think? How do you think that game's going to go? I'm assuming you're not in Liverpool for that, because you would have had to have left hours ago to get there. But maybe you are. I don't know. So, what's your prediction for the Liverpool game, Niall? And all the kit is horrible. That pink one is a shocker. And Niall's saying we're going to pump those dirty figures, Nunes and Salachet. Yeah, let's see what happens. Leeds years ago got the tag "Dirty Leeds" because of Don Revy's tactics, and there you go. Niall's put a comment in the chat. Liverpool 4, Leeds United 1. Yeah, mate, you should beat them comfortably. To be honest, I mean, they're in the relegation zone, and they've been, in my opinion, I think they've been quite poor this season. But you never know with them. They gave us a difficult game, so you just don't know. But we've been shocking of late. Joanne Smith says 3G, laugh out loud. They haven't got enough one, have they? Surely not. Right, so it's half time in some of the games. Bournemouth 1, Tottenham 0. Brentford and Wolves are still playing. Half time at the Amex. It's Brighton 3, Chelsea 0. Crystal Palace 1, Southampton 0. And Newcastle and Villa are still playing, and that is goalless. So I wonder what the hell Graham Potter's saying at half time. What can he say after being 3-0 down at half time? Is shocking. Shocking. The upper tier says that Tom Brady want to be coaching them because he's looking for touchdowns, not goals. Yeah, probably, mate. Dear oh Lord. Yeah, it's not good, is it? It really isn't. So let's have a look at what's going on around the country and see what the scores are up and down the country. Bournemouth 1, Tottenham 0. Well, we've just gone through those, but let's Right. So in Scotland, in the Premiership, it's Dundee United 0, Motherwell 1, Hibernian 0, St Mirren 0, Rangers 1, Aberdeen 1, and St Johnstone 1, Kilmarnock 0. In the Championship, 2 games earlier today, Bristol City drew 1-1 at home with Swansea City, and West Brom lost 2-0 at home to Sheffield United. In the other games, it's currently Burnley 0, Reading 0, Cardiff City 0, Rotherham United 0, Coventry City 1, Blackpool 0, Huddersfield Town 1, Millwall 0, Hull City 0, Blackburn Rovers 1, Luton Town 0, Sunderland 0, Norwich City 1, Stoke City 0, Preston North End 1, Middlesbrough 1, and Wigan Athletic 0, Watford 0. Then in League One, it's Barnsley 1, Forest Green Rovers 0, Bolton Wanderers 0, Oxford United 1, Charlton Athletic 0, Ipswich Town 1, Cheltenham 0, Milton Keynes Dons 0, Derby County 4, Bristol Rovers 2. And it's only half time. God, that must have been some game there. Fleetwood Town 0, Accrington Stanley 0, Peterborough United 0, Cambridge United 0, Port Vale 0, Lincoln City 0, Portsmouth 1, Shrewsbury Town 1, Sheffield Wednesday 2, Burton Albion 0, Wycombe Wanderers 1, Morecambe 0. League 2, it's Northampton Town 0, Newport County 1, AFC Wimbledon 1, Harrogate Town 0, Barrow 2, Crewe Alexandra 0, Bradford City 0, Crawley Town 0, Colchester 1, Stevenage 1, Doncaster Rovers 0, Gillingham 0, Hartlepool United 0, Grimsby Town 1, Leyton Orient 1, Salford City 0, Mansfield 2, Swindon Town 2, Stockport County 1, Sutton United 0, Tranmere Rovers 0, Carlisle United 1, and finally Walsall 0, Rochdale 0. There you go. That's all the half-time. That's all the up to date with all the scores. Let's see what is going. And let's bring that up. Right. So here we go. Yeah, that's a good point. When do, because I don't even know how to put polls in, because if I did, I'd put one in. When, let me see if I let me do it. In fact, no, I don't know how to do it. When do people think that? Well, for a start, do people think that Conte's going to walk, or do you think he's going to get sacked? That's a good question from Joanne. I think he'll walk before they show him the door, because I think he's a bit of a volatile character, to be quite honest. Ty said, "Why did the Oreo?" Oh God, here we go. Well, I think you put this one in before, Ty, but I love it anyway. Why did the Oreo cookie go to the dentist? Because he lost his filling. Superb stuff. Conte ain't walking. He's getting sacked, and no, his contract is up in June. Well, there you go. There you go. I don't know, mate. I'm convinced that he won't walk. See what happens in January. But if he don't get what he wants in January, I think he'll go. Get in, Lundstrom, says Grant McRoberts. Let's see. Has there been another goal at Ibrox? Let's have a quick butchers look at that, as they say. Yeah, it looks like there has just for half time. In the 3rd minute of added on time at the end of the first half, Lundstrom put Rangers 2-1 up, and that goal was assisted by Davies. Yeah, so there you go. Kello, Roos, Canoli Parry, James Taverniers, stinging drive, and Ben Davies squares the loose ball to Lundstrom to blast home. So Rangers now 2-1 up in the fiercely contested match against Aberdeen, which it's always an absolute nightmare, that game. They just can't stand each other, and I saw it at first hand. It was shocking, to be quite honest. The level of hatred between those two clubs is off the bloody scale. My friends got the pink shirt with Arteta on it. Oh, good God. That says it all. And that says it all. My cat's watching your show as I put it on my TV. Fair play, Joanne. Thank you. I hope the cat's enjoying it. And if the cat's watching, I've got one thing to say to your cat. And the upper tier, Joanne, he should no longer be your friend with that carry on. Laugh out loud. Exactly. Shocking. That cat impression was dreadful. They run his contract till June, Warren. Levy won't give him a penny. Jesus. It wouldn't surprise me, mate. And Ty said, how did the German cookie greet people? Looking dark. There you go. Fair play, Ty. Cats just jumped out of the window, laugh at. I'm not surprised after that carry on. Like Niall said. I don't think it will be long before Conte walks, says Joanne. It wouldn't surprise me, but I don't know. He might be a bit arrogant, and he might think, I can still do it. I can still do it. I don't know. I really don't know. Quick question for Niall. Niall, are you on Instagram? Yeah, and if you are, what's your handle or username, whatever you want to, whatever it's called, so that I can find you? Warren, for God's sake, don't choke on your drink. Laugh out loud. Says Dave, mate, don't worry. There's no chance of that happening. So let's go and see what. Let's have a look at that. I'll tell you what. Let's have a look at that Brighton game, because that I'm fascinated by that. What has gone on there? Let's see if we can see some match stats for that game. And look at the player ratings. Right, here we go. So look, there's the match stats. Brighton have had 53% possession. They've had 9 shots. Chelsea have had 6. They both had 4 shots on target. And the corner count is 7-4 in favour of Brighton. And the foul count is 4-3 in favour of Brighton. There you go. Now let's look at the player ratings. Let's see who Brighton's man of the match is so far. Dunk looks like he's had a good game, 8.12. And Trossard's got 8.22. So these ratings are averages for what people put into the BBC website. So they're the people what engaging with the BBC website have got Trossard down as man of the match. which is no surprise. Chelsea's and Brighton's worst player, because I'm going to do this on the Chelsea side in a minute as well, appears to be Sanchez with a rating of 7.13. I find that a bit surprised by that, really. Chelsea, their worst player at the moment is Chalobah, 3.56. No, Loftus-Cheek, 3.29. So Loftus-Cheek is Chelsea's worst player at the moment, and their best player, according to the people who are engaging with the BBC website, is Mason Mount, who's got a score of 4.33. So that's an average of all the people who put in ratings for the Chelsea players on the BBC website. So that's interesting. But yeah, I'm a bit shocked that the people were saying that Brighton goalkeeper has been their worst player. I don't know how they managed to work that out, but still, there you go. And it looks, whoa, there you go. I missed that one. So I need to do this. Newcastle are 1-0 up at home to Aston Villa. And that was scored in the 6th minute of added on time at the end of the first half. And it was a penalty. Looks like Wilson scored. Let's go and have a look, see what happened. Yeah, so Callum Wilson put Newcastle United up front with a right-footed shot to the centre of the goal. Ollie Watkins from Aston Villa got shown a yellow card, so he needs your book, son. And that's for you, Callum Wilson. So it doesn't really say how. Oh, here we go. Eric says, right, foul by Callum Wilson. No, sorry. Penalty conceded by Ashley Young of Aston Villa with a handball in the penalty area. So that's how it was conceded. Ashley Young handled inside the box. And then Callum Wilson of Newcastle dispatched the penalty to put Newcastle 1-0 up against Aston Villa at home. So there we go. Sorry, I missed that one, guys. So there you go. Yeah, people, listen. Don't forget to go subscribe to Jez Collins' channel, Arsenal, the history, and more. Let me just get his thing up. Let me get it. Yeah, here we go. This is Jesse's channel. It's at the top of the chat. There's a link for his YouTube channel, and also the link is there as well in that comment I put in. It's also in the description of this video. And like I say, here's my YouTube channel of the week. So please go and make sure, please, if I can ask you kindly to go and support his channel, because it's absolutely superb. He talks all about the history of Arsenal Football Club. So yeah, go and put likes on his videos. Go and subscribe to his channel. He's a top man, a really, really lovely guy. And yeah, he's doing a great job. So please go and show him some love and support. Noel says, I am the upper tier. You certainly are, mate. Upper tier, upper crust, everything upper, mate. That's without a shadow of a doubt. And make sure as well you go and subscribe to this fella's channel, the Upper Tier Podcast. He does, for those, especially for those of you who are Liverpool fans, he's a big Liverpool fan. And like Del Boy, he's from Dublin. And he does a show called the Shankly Sessions, where he does previews and reviews of Liverpool's games. And he also does his Upper Tier Podcast. I think he does that once a week, if I'm right. And he does like reviews of the Premier League, upcoming Premier League fixtures and whatnot. Absolutely top bloke, and his analysis, man's knowledge of football is unbelievable. Actually, Jez, if you're watching, you might want to think about getting him on a quiz with Kenny Ken, because he will give Kenny a good run for his money, mate. I'm telling you. I am telling you, this guy knows his stuff. I'm confident that he will give Kenny a good run for his money. I'd pay good money to watch that, I'm telling you. Ty says, Warren, I love Graham Potter. He's a top manager, but in my opinion, he's a mid-table team manager. There you go. Yeah. I remember saying that when he went there, I thought it might be a bit too soon for him. But, you know, you never know. We might see different. He might come good. I don't know. I really don't know. He's done a good job. He did a good job at Brighton, though. And the Upper Tier says, in fairness, Taib, Potter is playing middle squad, so needs at least another 2 wingers to put his shine on the team. That's very, very true. And Ty says the Upper Tier probably, bro. Let's see. Exactly. No, that's my Instagram page. Oh, okay. Sorry, mate. Yeah, okay. I'll check it out. Up out loud, he says. Gavin O'Flaherty, Bournemouth 2-0, laugh out loud, says Gavin. Fair play to you, Gavin. Thanks very much for coming in the chat. Lovely to see you, my friend. I hope you're going to enjoy the show. Nice to see you. Let's go. Has there been another goal at Bournemouth? And it is. Look at that. Bournemouth 2, Tottenham 0. Fantastic. I absolutely love it. And this is especially for Conte. You're getting sacked in the morning. You're getting sacked in the morning. Sacked in the morning. You're getting sacked in the morning. Sacked in the morning. Oh, my days. It's unbelievable, isn't it? So let's make sure that my show is showing that screen. There we go. So let's go and have. No, don't do that. Let's go and have a look at that and see what's going on in that game. So it's Bournemouth 2, Tottenham 0. Bournemouth's second goal has come from Moore, so that's his second of the game. The goal came in the 49th minute, and it was assisted by A. Smith. So let's go and check that out. So Kiefer Moore from Bournemouth, a header from the centre of the box to the top left corner, assisted by Adam Smith with a cross. So Bournemouth now 2-0 up at home against Tottenham. And Chelsea have pulled a Chelsea have pulled a goal back. It's now Brighton 3, Chelsea 1. So it sounds like Graham Potter must have read them the riot act at half-time. Kai Havertz has pulled one back for Chelsea, and that was assisted by Conor Gallagher in the 48th minute. Let's go and check that one out. So here we go. Let's go and check that out. Yeah, so Kai Havertz, Chelsea, header from the centre of the box to the bottom left corner, assisted by Conor Gallagher with a cross. So it's now Brighton and Hove Albion 3, Chelsea 1. And there's been a booking as well. Let's... Your book, son. So, yeah, that's for Kai Havertz. Not Kai Havertz, sorry, Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling has been booked because of a bad foul. So Brighton now 3-1 up, and Raheem Sterling's not having a very good afternoon by the sounds of it. So let's see what that's doing for the Premier League league table. Newcastle are now up to third. They're on 24 points. Arsenal have 2 games in hand on them, and are 4 points ahead. Manchester City, they're on 29 points, 1 point ahead of Arsenal, but Arsenal have a game in hand. Chelsea are now down to 5th. Brighton are up to 7th at the moment as things stand. Crystal Palace and Bournemouth both move up to 10th and 11th respectively. Wolves are up to 18th in the Premier League table, and Leeds are down to 19th. So there you go. Let's see what's going on now. Let's have a look. So currently, at the start of the second half, it's now Brighton 2, Tottenham Hotspur 0, Brentford 0, Wolves 0, Brighton and Hove Albion 3, Chelsea 1, Crystal Palace 1, Southampton 0, and Newcastle United 1, Aston Villa 0. Let's get back into the comments. And the upper tier is... put a laughing emoji, and the upper tier says, remember when people thought Kane was a £50 million player? Laugh out loud. Yeah, I do remember, mate. Shocking. Gavin Joanne, any chance I can get the Irish lotto numbers after that prediction? Yeah, exactly. I'll be interested in that as well. And the McManus Gaming is in the chat. Says, hello all, hope you're all well. Spurs are losing again. It's a great day to be alive. It certainly is, mate. It's absolutely hilarious. And the upper tier says, Sterling's a fraud, stealing a living, playing ball. Rodgers was right. Is that what you said about him? Blimey. But he's not wrong, is he? Expressions insane. You got 8 corners and no trucks to sell. He's going into one. I bet he is. Dear oh Lord. Yeah, because that sounds like it's absolutely shocking. 8 corners and no trucks to sell. Absolute shocker. Yeah, thanks for coming in, McManus. Lovely to see you. And yeah, you're absolutely right. About Spurs, it's hilarious. I'm absolutely delighted, mate. Dear oh Lord. So let's get back into these games and see what's going on. And it's been a goal at Bournemouth. There's been a goal at Bournemouth. It's now Bournemouth 2, Tottenham 1. Oh dear, never mind. So is this going to be the start of the fight back, presumably? And Sessegnon has pulled one back for Tottenham in the 5th minute. That was assisted by Højbjerg. So let's see what happened there. Bournemouth 2, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Ryan Sessegnon, Tottenham Hotspur, left-footed shot from the left side of the box to the bottom right corner, and that was assisted by Pierre-Emile Højbjerg with a through ball. So there you go. Tottenham have got one back. Will it be enough? And there's been a goal at the Amex Arena. It's now Brentford 1, Wolves 1. There's been 2 goals, actually. So it's Brentford 1, Wolves 1. And first of all, Mee scored for Brentford in the 50th minute, and that was assisted by Mbeumo. And then Neves equalised for Wolves in the 52nd minute, and that was assisted by Nelson Semedo. So let's go and have a look. Let's have a look. So first of all, the first one, Brentford 1, Wolves 0. Ben Mee put Brentford 1-0 up with a left-footed shot from the centre of the box to the centre of the goal, and that was assisted by Brian Mbeumo with a cross following a corner. And then the second goal, Brentford 1, Wolves 1. Ruben Neves had a right-footed shot from the outside of the box to the bottom right corner to equalise for Wolves, and that goal was assisted by Nelson Semedo. So there you go. Brentford 1, Wolves 1. And it's been quite a start to the second half. I hope it carries on like this. So the scores so far, with nearly an hour gone in most of the games, is Bournemouth 2, Tottenham 1, Brentford 1, Wolves 1, Brighton and Hove Albion 3, Chelsea 1, and Crystal Palace 1, Southampton 0, and Newcastle United 1, Aston Villa 0. So let's go here. Dion Dublin says the ball in was absolutely fantastic and landed into the middle of the 6-yard box, a proper centre forwards goal for Kiefer Moore. What is he talking about? That was ages ago. What? You're even further off the game than what I am, mate. Dear me. Crystal Palace 1, Southampton 0. From one end to the other, it's 4-on-3 for Palace, but Michael Olise's pass is a poor one. Southampton immediately break, and Stuart Armstrong gets a shot off at a tight angle, which is behind for a corner. So let's get into the and Gavin O'Flaherty says, F's sake, Spurs got one back. Yeah, as long as they don't get another one, we're all right. Poems and Me Singing by Jamie Hill. Hi, Jamie. How you doing, buddy? I haven't seen you for ages. How are you? He says, hello, everyone. Lovely to see you, mate. I hope you're well. Bonjour, and bonjour to you, Jamie, too. Lovely to see you, my friend. I hope everything's going well with you. And thanks for joining the chat. I really appreciate that and watching the show. And Darren Sullivan, FOYS, let's hope this stays the same. Yeah, we don't want them scoring anymore. 2-1, that's fine. I'm happy with that. But no more. Nice to see you, Darren. I hope you're good, mate. Yeah, lovely to see you, buddy. Afternoon, Warren, he says. Afternoon to you too, buddy. What's your thoughts about the game tomorrow, Darren? Do you think we'll win at the City Ground? I think it's going to be another tricky game for the Gunners, to be honest. We've been not in good form of late, have we? And I can see another scrap. Possibly 0-0 or 1-0. I can't really see a lot of goals, to be honest. The upper tier says the French and Arsenal just go well together. What's that mean, Niall? Fair play. Let's have a look. It's like some substitutions there. Bournemouth 2, Tottenham 1. Antonio Conte did make changes in the aftermath of that goal, with Ryan Sessegnon coming off after all. Ivan Perisic, Eric Dyer, and Rodrigo Bentancur are all on. Wow. 3-1 shout. No, it's a bit mad, isn't it? But still, there you go. That's why he's paid all that money, isn't it? And upper tier says a conga masterclass, mate. Problem is, don't get me started about that subject, because I'm not necessarily convinced it's all down to Lokonga. I think it's the bloody coaching at Arsenal. I think it's shocking. Upper tier says bonjour. Exactly. The McManus Gaming dentist, therapists, psychiatrist, artists. What do they have in common? I got no idea, mate. Hopefully you're going to tell us. Darren says, I think we'll be okay. We're at home, so we should deal with them. Like to see Odegaard dropped. Vieira given a change. Their minds look tired at the moment. They are playing a lot of games, but Arteta is right. What? Oh, I think I know what you mean. Well, let's hope he gets it right tomorrow. The upper tier laugh out loud. Lokonga can go back to Anderlecht. And there's been a goal. And there's another goal at St. James's Park. And it's now Newcastle United 2, Aston Villa 0. So let's go and check that out. And Callum Wilson has got a second goal in the 56th minute to put Newcastle United 2-0 up. And let's see how he scored it. So here we go. Callum Wilson had a header from very close range to the bottom left corner, and that was assisted by Kieran Trippier following a corner. So Newcastle now lead Aston Villa by 2-0. And Unai Emery, if he didn't know already, I'm sure he now knows now that he's got his work cut out there. So it's Newcastle United 2, Aston Villa 0. So let's get back. What's coming through here? Shay Adams has come close a few times this half, but once again, Vicente Guayata has denied him with a smart save. There you go. So looks like Southampton are pushing for an equaliser, but Shay Adams got denied there. I think our bloody coaching staff should go to Anderlecht, not players, mate. I don't think it's his fault. Like, what other players in that squad have improved since Arteta has been here? I can't think of one. And it's the coach. Mate, I'm convinced it's the bloody coaching. The coaching at our club is shocking. Kieran Tierney, since he's been here, he's regressed. He has. I don't care what anyone says. He's gone backwards. The sooner he gets out of the club, the better it'll be for him, because his career's taking a nosedive. If we get in Champions League, it's 3 games a week. Yeah, only for the period of time when we're in it, and we won't be in it for long, mate. Don't worry about that. The Apatia laughing emojis. And there's been another goal. There's been another goal. Let's see where that goal's gone in. And it's 3-0 now to Newcastle. Newcastle are running riot now at home to Aston Villa. It's Newcastle United 3, Aston Villa 0. Let's see what's going on there. Come on, update. Gee whiz, come on. See, this is what I don't like. They're always doing this madness where they don't update the bloody website ages after. Now, let's go and have a check it out on one of my other. I'm just going to check one of my other things because it flashed up. Yeah, it's 3-0. Joel Linton has made it 3-0 apparently. Yeah, so Joel Linton got the 3rd goal in the 59th minute. Oh, thanks, BBC, for updating your website. Lovely. Never mind. Really far behind. So Joel Linton scored in the 59th minute to put Newcastle 3-0 up. So let's see how that goal went in. Joel Linton had a left-footed shot from the centre of the box to the centre of the goal following a fast break. So it's Newcastle United 3, Aston Villa 0. So there you go. So 3-0. And a yellow card. Someone has seen a yellow card. Your book, son. So a yellow card for in the Bournemouth Spurs game. Fantasy managers won't be here. That Harry Kane has picked up a booking. And now he glides ahead and wide of the far corner. There you go, Harry Kane, the Brooklyn boy of the White Hart Lane faithful, their golden boy, has picked up a yellow card. So there you are. And And Tariq Lamptey is on for Brighton, and he's replaced Karu Mitoma. So, what's this? It's a bit late to be putting that up. That goal was scored ages ago. Honestly, this bloody website. Time says FL Newcastle gonna finish top 4. Laugh at that. Don't be surprised, mate. Darren says watching that game in the week, nothing worse than the defeat to the Dutch weirdo supporters. Make their absolute nutters. Absolute nutters. The upper tier says Newcastle looking like a well-oiled machine. Laugh out loud. They're doing well, aren't they? Upper tier, much like Arsenal squad depth. Laugh out loud, says Tayyip. And there's been another goal. And it's Bournemouth 2, Tottenham 2. Unfortunately, people, Tottenham have equalised. So let's go and check that out. Oh, dear. So Ben Davies, Tottenham Hotspur, header from the left side of the 6-yard box to the top left corner, and that was assisted by Ivan Perisic with a cross following a corner. So it's Bournemouth 2, Tottenham 2 now. Tottenham have got themselves back into this game after being 2-0 down. So there you go. Bournemouth 2, Tottenham Hotspur 2. Let's get back into the text thing. So yeah, what do people think about that? Emery will be rubbing his chin this afternoon. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I bet he will. He'll be wondering, what the hell have I done coming here? Nothing. And McManus Gaming says nothing apart from they end in East. I'm not sure what refers to, but fair play to you, mate. The upper tier says I'm a Liverpool fan. I ain't getting into squad deck conversations. Laugh out loud. Oh dear, yeah, no. It's probably better not to. Darren says Arteta has to have a squad that can play Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday when on Champions League. Well, miles off being that strong as a squad. Mate, we're miles off having a starting 11 that's strong enough to compete in the Champions League, let alone like going, well, yeah, just we're miles off. I'm sorry, but I think the starting 11 isn't as strong as what people think it is. Ty says McManus is the therapist, always pissed. Laugh out loud. Harry Potter and the Temple of Doom says Darren. Yes, mate. Yeah, I love it. And Joanne says everything about Arsenal is shocking. I mean, you're not far off them, Joanne. The upper tier, you're a wizard. Okay, mate. Fair play. Don't know what that means. Darren, we ain't finishing top 4, says Taib. And there's been another goal. Please don't let it be Tottenham. And it isn't. And it's Newcastle. They've got a 4th. Wow, they're running a mock, aren't they? It's Newcastle 4, Aston Villa 0. a goal from Miguel Almiron. So let's see how that went in. And Villa getting absolutely shredded, aren't they? So Miguel Almiron, Newcastle United, left-footed shot from outside of the box to the top left corner, assisted by Callum Wilson. So it's now Newcastle United 4, Aston Villa 0. And poor Unai Emery, he's probably sitting there thinking, why do I keep doing this to myself? Dear Lord. He's going to need some divine intervention, I think, to turn that lot round. 4-0 down at Newcastle. Dear me. Your wizard. Yes. Darren says, Taib, I'm expecting a title from Super Mick now. Top 4 is for losers. Yeah. And with the amount of money he spent, he should be in a title race. Simple as that. Darren, I agree, but he is still unable to make proper subs in the second half. Why he got the job in the first place is beyond me. Exactly, that's my point as to a club of the size and stature of Arsenal shouldn't be employing a novice. I'm sorry, he should never, ever have been given a job. The fact he did is absolutely scandalous, and whoever is responsible should be sacked immediately. Upper tier says, imagine calling yourself a defender and letting Ben Davies setting your score. Oh, exactly. It's shocking, isn't it? It really is. Darren Sutherland, the challenge Arteta has now is, can he lift the players for tomorrow? I think we can hang on the first after tomorrow. I think we can hang on the first after tomorrow at least. Yeah, hopefully so. Hopefully we can get a win and get us to top spot. And McManus Gaming's put laughing emojis in for Taib. Absolutely spot on, McManus. I agree with you, buddy. It is. It's a joke. Darren says, good evening, Mr. Emery. I should have said good night. Yeah, good night for you. He might say, nah, I'm not doing this. If he's got any sense, he'll turn around and say, sorry, I've changed mine. I'm off. Imagine Newcastle went on to win the league this season. Laugh out loud, says Ty. Yeah, that would be unreal. Darren said should never have been hired. Shocking. I agree with Darren. He shouldn't. He should never, ever have got the job. Like our club like Arsenal, the size and stature of a club of Arsenal Football Club is going out and employing a novice. It's shocking. Absolutely shocking. It should never have happened. I just don't understand it. And there wasn't like there weren't other contenders for the job. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't think Unai was given a fair crack of the whip. So let's get into see what's going on in some of these games. Brentford 1, Wolves 1. Chance for Brentford as this game continues to improve. Josta Silva's low shot from range is half cleared and Ivan Toney is close to forcing it in, but Max Kilman does well to clear. Crystal Palace 1, Southampton 0. Samuel Edozie races down the right and gets a cross off, but it's well defended by Palace. They look fairly comfortable here, but Southampton have had some big chances in the second half. So games are coming to a close now in this afternoon's matches. So let's see, get an update on the scores. So it's currently Bournemouth 2, Tottenham 2. Brentford 1, Wolves 1. It's Brighton and Hove Albion 3, Chelsea 1, Crystal Palace 1, Southampton 0, and Newcastle United 4, Aston Villa 0. So there we go. Darren says, question for Edu and Arteta. We sold Willock, who runs Newcastle's midfield, and then went and signed Lokonga. Question mark. Mate, you've got me. I ain't got a clue. I really don't. I don't understand it either. But most of the things that those guys do doesn't make any sense to me. Do you know, the amount of money that this club has wasted is just shocking. £400 million this club has spent in the last 3 years, and I'd say a good percentage of that has been wasted. They went for the cheap option, getting Arteta. I want to have a conversation about this. Was it the cheap option, though? Like, we missed out on the Champions League every year since he's been here. So how much revenue difference between getting in the Champions League and the Europa League? And what is the difference? Because I'm telling you now, if Unai Emery missed out on the Champions League, I think by 2 points, 3 points, if he'd been given the financial backing that Arteta has, I'm convinced that he would have got us in the Champions League by now. And if we'd gone out and got an elite manager, we would have been challenging by now for sure. With the amount of money that Clown has been given, we would definitely have been challenging. We've outspent every club in world football. Bar none. I think Man United may have spent a bit more than us, but near on every other club in world football we've outspent. So there is no way on this planet, if we had a decent manager, one who is experienced and knows what they're doing, that we would have not been challenging by now. And we would have won some trophies. So was it the cheap option? Because if you do the sums, I don't think it was. The amount of money that Clown has wasted, the lack of revenue from the Champions League, the lack of revenue from finishing 8th and 5th when they could have been in the top 4. No, I'm not convinced that stacks up. I just think it's ridiculous. Lokonga and Eddie are just not doing it. It's because they're not good enough. And the coaching at this club is shocking. I don't necessarily blame the players. I would like to see what a proper manager and proper coaching staff would have been able to do with this squad, because I'm convinced they would have got more out of them. And the thing is, you have to ask the question, why have none of these players improved? Because I don't think they have. You look at that team, how many of them improved? And look at Saliba's performances since he's been here. He's slowly starting going downhill. And there's one of them that story hasn't been replicated. And it's because the coaching is shocking. We recruited a bloody coach from Manchester United. He got the sack from Manchester United. What's that all about? I'm sorry, there's something seriously wrong at Arsenal. Yeah, we're currently second in the table, and also there's a chance to go top again tomorrow if we win. But this ain't going to continue. Look at our last 4 performances. They've been dreadful, as well as being awful to watch. No, people say I'm being negative, but let's see. I want this club to succeed. I don't really see that it's being negative, wanting your team to succeed. So, right, we've got about 5 minutes left, people, in most of the games. It's Bournemouth 2, Tottenham 2, 87 minutes gone now. 81 minutes gone on the game at Brentford. It's Brentford 1, Wolves 1. 4 minutes to go in the game at the Amex Arena. It's Brighton 3, Chelsea 1 there. 7 minutes to go at Selhurst Park, and it's Crystal Palace 1, Southampton 0. And 13 minutes to go at St James's Park, and it's Newcastle United 4, Aston Villa 0. So there you go. Darren says, I bet that Cartles Kane gets a winner for Tottenham. Oh, mate, I can see it. Tottenham will get a penalty or something in the last couple of minutes. And you know what's... Darren says, I think Joanne means that Carlo and Jose would have been dearer, but agree Arteta is too expensive for his skill level and experience. That man, you're absolutely right, mate. And that little rant I went on isn't aimed at Joanne, it's aimed at Arsenal, because I completely respect Joanne. She's a lovely woman and I respect her opinions. I really do. So, Joanne, that rant wasn't aimed at you. Please don't think that. But I don't think he was a cheap option, because look at the money we've missed out on and the money that he's wasted. It's just unbelievable. And at the end of the day, Arsenal Football Club isn't a college of further education. I'm sorry, but we shouldn't be employing novices. We shouldn't. Darren says, yeah, no, you... And I think you're right. The guy is on £8.5 million a year. He shouldn't even be on half of that. He hasn't got the experience. And his skill set is shocking. The way he manages the team, his man management skills are shocking. How many times has he taken Arsenal from losing a game to go? Often have you seen him make tactical changes in a game that have enabled us to win a game from a losing position? Not very often. And up until recently, I think he'd only ever done it once in about 2 years. Sorry, it's not good enough. Not for a club of Arsenal size. Listen, guys. At the moment, there's 7 people watching. So please don't forget to hit the like button. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done already. I'd really appreciate that. Thank you so, so much. And don't forget to go and subscribe to Jesse's YouTube channel, Arsenal and the History and More. He's the Warren's Team Talk YouTube channel of the week. So please go and support him. You can also find him on Instagram. The links from his YouTube channel and his Instagram account are in the description of this video. And the link for his YouTube channel is at the top of the chat. So please go and check him out, and just click on the chat on the link and it will take you to his channel. He does absolutely superb work and does great videos about Arsenal and whatnot. Taib says Wenger was getting contract renewals after the FA Cup wins and top 4 finishes, but Arsenal just decided to bring in a novice in Arteta. It just doesn't make any sense. No, it doesn't. And what the other thing that doesn't make any sense is all these people that were kicking off because we were finishing in the top 4, saying it wasn't good enough and whatever. But now they're happy to accept us finishing between 5th and 8th. I'm sorry, but why? Why are you accepting it? And, you know, they were kicking off because the occasional FA Cup win and finishing in the top 4 wasn't good enough. Yet now they're happy enough to accept finishing between 5th and 8th with this manager who hasn't got a clue what he's bloody doing. Darren says Brighton rock Harry Potter. And yeah, there we go, guys. So it's now Brighton 4, Chelsea 1, 2 minutes into added on time at the end of the game, and that seals it. Brighton have won that game, no doubt about that now. It would be an absolute miracle. Oh my days. And look at that. There's been a goal. There's been a goal at ball. Surprise, surprise. What were Darren and I saying? It's now Bournemouth 2, Tottenham 3, and that goal was scored by Betancourt in the second minute of added on time. And yeah, so let's go and check out that one, I guess. I suppose we have to, really, don't we? Yeah, Rodrigo Betancourt for Tottenham, right-footed shot from the centre of the box to the high centre of the goal following a corner. It gives Tottenham a 3-2 lead in that game. As hopefully Bournemouth can get a quick equaliser to deny them the 3 points. Brighton 4, Chelsea 1. That's put a bit of a dampener on it, to be quite honest. But still, there you go. Left us a bit of a sour taste in my mouth. Brighton and Hove Albion 4, Chelsea 1. Pascal Gross, Brighton and Hove Albion. Right-footed shot from the centre of the box to the bottom left corner. Gives Brighton a 4-1 lead, and surely now that's the point safe. Brighton 4-1 up at half-time. Sorry, 3-0 up at half-time, and they now lead by 4 goals to 1. Okay, so in the 4th minute of added on time at Bournemouth, and it's Bournemouth 2, Tottenham Hotspur 3. 88 minutes gone between Brentford and Wolves, and it's 1-1 there. The Amex Arena in Brighton is Brighton 41. We're in the 2nd minute of added on time there. It's Crystal Palace 1, Southampton 0 at Selhurst Park in the 4th minute of added on time there. And in the 84th minute at St James's Park, it's currently Newcastle United 4, Aston Villa 0. So there you go. We're up to date there. Let's get up with, and it's finished at the Amex Arena is finished. Brighton and Hove Albion 4, Chelsea 1. Let's get into the chat. Darren says, I do feel a bit sick though right now. Mate, that's awful. And Jeff P says Newcastle look like top 4 contenders. When Arteta's luck runs out, there are a lot of rivals for top 4 this season. Yeah, there certainly are, mate. And if we're not careful and don't ship up, we can slide down that table quite quickly. Not a good start for Emery now. Yeah, apparently he's not in control though today. So let's see what happens when he takes control. But yeah, I'm sure he must have had a chat with the players and whatnot. Jeff P says Tottenham scored. Yeah, I know, it's shocking, isn't it? Darren Sullivan says Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Albion. Love it, Darren. Love it. Superb comment. That's the comment of the day for me. I absolutely love it. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Albion. Absolutely fantastic comment. And it's also finished at Bournemouth. It's finished Bournemouth 2, Tottenham Hotspur 3. So Tottenham seal the points there. Goals from Moore. in the 22nd and 49th minutes for Bournemouth, and Tottenham responding with goals from Sessegnon in the 57th minute, Davis in the 73rd minute, and Betancourt in the 2nd minute of added on time at the end of the game. And Brighton have beaten Chelsea by 4-1. Their goals came from Trossard in the 5th minute, Loftus-Cheek in the 4th minute with an own goal. Chalobah also scored an own goal for Brighton in the 42nd minute, and Pascal Gross added one in the 2nd minute of added on time to make it Brighton 4, Chelsea 1. And Kai Havertz responded for Chelsea. And there you go. And it's finished at Selhurst Park. It finished Crystal Palace 1, Southampton 0. Edison Edouard scored for Palace to make it Crystal Palace 1, Southampton 0. So the only game that's left to finish now is the Brentford Wolves game, and then we're in the 1 minute of first minute of added on time there. So let's go and follow that for the last couple of minutes. Now, and it's been a goal. Is there? Brighton saying that. It's Brentford. No, there hasn't been a goal. So it's Brentford 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1. Sorry about that, guys. I got a bit overexcited there. Jose Sarr from Wolves wins a free kick in the defensive half. And Taib says, so Crystal Palace beat Southampton and Arsenal can't. Well done, Arteta. You hug. You won't get an argument out of me, mate. That's for sure. So Frank Onyeka from Brentford wins a free kick. Oh, we already said that. So it's 3 minutes of added on time, 4 minutes of added on time at Brentford, and it's still Brentford 1, Wolves 1. Let's have a look at the match stats there. So Brentford have had 59% possession. They've had 11 shots. Wolves have had 13. And Brentford have had 3 shots on target. Wolves have had 4 on target. Count as 6-3 in favour of Wolves, and the foul count is 15-9 to Wolves. So there you go. And they're still playing, and it's Brentford 1, Wolves 1. And Newcastle, it's still 4-0 at St James's Park. They're still playing as well. I thought that game had finished, but obviously not. It shows you, what do I know? They've got a clue what's going on, have I? So it's Brentford 1, Wolves 1, and Newcastle United 4, Aston Villa 0. There've been some 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bookings in that game. The first one to get booked was Nelson Semedo in the 1st minute. Daniel Podence got booked in the 30th minute. Brian Mbeumo got booked in the 80th minute. Ruben Neves got booked in the 84th minute. And Damsgaard got booked in the 86th minute. And Ivan Toney got booked in the 3rd minute of added on time. So there you go. It's still Brighton 1. So Brentford 1, Wolves 1. The match stats in that one. Brentford have had 3 shots on target, and Wolves have had 4. Brentford have had 4 off target. Wolves have had 8. Have been Brentford have had 4 block shots. Wolves have had 3. Corner kicks, we've said. Offsides, there's only been 1 offside, and that was with Wolves. And yellow cards is 3 apiece. And goalkeeper saves, that's an interesting one. Brentford have made, and 3, their goalkeepers made 3 saves, and Wolves has made 2. And treatments, players have had to have treatment. There's been 10 from Wolves who've had to have treatment, and 5 from Brentford. So there you go. Looks like it's still playing. And yeah, the Newcastle game has finished. It's finished. Newcastle United 4, Aston Villa 0. The goal scorers in that one, Callum Wilson in the 45th minute and the 6th minute of added on time at the end of the first half with a penalty, and then he added another one in the 56th minute. Joel Linton scored in the 59th minute, and Almiron in the 68th minute. And let's go back. And so they're still playing at Brentford, and they played 9 minutes of added on time. Wow, what the hell? It's crazy, isn't it? Absolutely crazy. Well, while we're waiting for that one to finish, I'm just going to go into the chat. And Jeff P says Arteta couldn't beat Forest last season either. Yeah, so don't expect any miracles tomorrow. I honestly think it's going to be another boring match, and I think it's going to be a scrap. I think it'll be a difficult game for Arsenal. They'll make it deliberately go out to make it difficult, and I think it's going to end in either a 0-0 or 1-0. And Darren says 3-0 win for us tomorrow. I hope so, Darren. I can't see it, mine, but I do hope so. And finally finished at Brentford, and it's finished Brentford 1, Wolves 1. So let's have a quick roundup of all the Premier League games today. It's ended Leicester 0, Man City 1. De Bruyne scored the winning goal in the 49th minute with a brilliant free kick. It finished Bournemouth 2, Tottenham Hotspur 3. 2 goals from Moore in the 22nd and 49th minute. And then Tottenham's goals came from Sessegnon in the 57th minute, Davis in the 73rd minute, and Betancourt in the 2nd minute of added on time at the end of the game. So Bournemouth 2, Tottenham Hotspur 3. Brentford 1, Wolves 1. Mee scored in the 50th minute, and then Wolves, Neves scored in the 52nd minute, and surprise, Diego Costa got sent off. So you, my friend, you need to see this.
That's it. You're off.
So Diego Costa got himself sent off in the 7th minute, by the looks of it, of added on time. And then Brighton 4, Chelsea 1. The Brighton goals came from Trossard in the 5th minute, Loftus-Cheek, who scored an own goal in the 14th minute, Chalobah, who also scored an own goal for Brighton in the 42nd minute, and then Pascal Gross scored in the 2nd minute of added on time at the end of the game. And Chelsea's sole response was in the 48th minute, which gave Brighton a 4-1 win at home to Chelsea. And then Crystal Palace against Southampton. That game was won thanks to a goal from Edouard in the 38th minute. Then Crystal Palace won that game by 1-0. And then last but not least, Newcastle United 4, Aston Villa 0. Newcastle's goals came from Callum Wilson in the 6th minute of added on time at the end of the first half, and the 56th minute. Joel Linton scored in the 59th minute, and Almiron scored in the 67th minute to give Newcastle United a 4-0 win. So let's have a look at the Premier League table. So there we go. There it is. Man City currently sitting 9 points. Arsenal are second with 28. Tottenham Hotspur are sitting third with 26 points. And Newcastle United are sat fourth with 24 points. Chelsea are now in fifth with 21 points. Man United are sixth with 20 points. Brighton are in seventh with 18. Liverpool are down in ninth with 16. Everton are in 13th with 13 points. So it'd have to be a massive turnaround for Everton to catch Liverpool. They could go level points with them tomorrow if the results go the right way, but they won't overtake them. The bottom three is currently Wolves in 18th place with 10 points. Leeds on 19th with 9 points and the goal difference of -5. And Nottingham Forest 20th with 9 points and a -15 goal difference. So there you go. That's it, guys. So I'm just gonna go through the chat and then I think it there. Jeff said Diego was sent off at 90th minute and 7th minute of added on time. Yeah, he was. No surprise there. And Darren Sullivan says clocks go back tonight. Spare a thought for Spurs who have to wind theirs back to 1961. Yeah, exactly, mate. Bless them. Or not really. But yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in today and joining me. Everyone who came in the chat. I really do appreciate all your support and whatnot. And yeah, please, everyone, please go and make sure, if you haven't done it already, go and check out Jesse's channel, Arsenal, the History and More. And as he says now, Invicta Concordia Crescit. I've left links to his YouTube channel and also to his Instagram account in the description of this video. Absolutely top bloke. And also, can I just say that video I did with him recently about the Desert Island football matches, which is a new series I'm starting where I'm going to be chatting to people about 5 memorable football matches from their time being a football fan. I absolutely loved chatting to Jez about that. And he had some great choices for football matches. So please go and check that out on my channel. It was a brilliant chat, really enjoyable. And the people who came in the show that night also really enjoyed it. So it's been great entertainment, a great show. And yeah, it was great. And the games we talked about ranged from 1972, which was Jesse's first ever away game at Selhurst Park, and it went right up until I think the last ever game at Highbury against Wigan. So it was a brilliant collection of games that he chose. So go and check it out. You can find it in a playlist called the Desert Island Football Matches, and basically what it is, this show is I give people some instructions, but basically what they have to do, they have to give me 5 memorable matches from their time watching football, and then we have a conversation about each one of those games. It's basically based on the show on the BBC radio. I'm not sure which one it is, but they're on the BBC Sounds Desert Island discs, and I just thought it'd be really interesting to do a football version. And it was fascinating listening to Jez talk about those matches, and I know that Jez really enjoyed it as well. So please go and support Jez. He's got an excellent channel. He talks about Arsenal's history, and what he doesn't know about Arsenal isn't worth knowing. So go and listen to about Arsenal's history. It's absolutely superb. He also does previews and reviews from Arsenal's matches. He also has people on his channel talking about football as well. It's absolutely superb. So Darren says, nice one, Warren. Thank you, Darren. I hope you enjoyed it, mate. And the upper tier says, was a great episode, Warren. Thank you, mate. Thank you very much. And yeah, I'm looking to get more people on it, and I'd love to have you doing it one day, because I dare say you've got some interesting stories to tell, and you, Darren. Yeah, so anyway, guys, I'm going to end it there. Please don't forget, everyone, look after yourselves and all your family and friends. And also, please remember, don't forget to click on the like of this video. And if you haven't done it already, please subscribe. More importantly than that, please try and spread some love and kindness around the world at the moment, because God knows we need it. And take care of yourselves. Thanks for tuning in. I love you all. Please take care and have a great rest of your day, whatever you're doing. Take care, everyone, and I'll speak to you soon.